Hello, everyone. Welcome to School Liaison Training. My name is Jennifer McGowan, and I'm the Council Recruitment and Placement Director. Also here with me is Kim Lincoln, the Council Recruitment Manager.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you for taking time today to complete the training, and of course, thank you for all you do to support the girls and volunteers of GSCCC. We can expect the training to last no more than about 20 minutes. Naturally, you'll have questions as we go through the training. We'll probably address your questions as we proceed, but if we don't, you can email your questions to Kim Lincoln at kiml@gsccc.org. Now, Kim's address will pop up here in a couple screens, so you'll be able to write it down, and we'll probably mention it another 2 or 3 times. At the end of the training, you'll have all the skills and tools you'll need to serve as a school liaison in your service unit. Ding! And I'm going to say ding every time I want Kim to advance our screen. So let's start with our learning objectives. So by the end of this session, we're going to expect that you will be able to describe the responsibilities of the school liaison and that you'll understand how the school liaison works with the recruitment team. Ding! As one of the school liaisons for your service unit, your responsibility is to serve as liaison between the school administration and the volunteers. We're going to want you to create or continue a relationship with the administrators and parent organizers within your assigned school. There's a pretty good bet that you already have some sort of relationship with the school, as we've already asked you to do this job. You may be involved with the PTA, maybe you're the copy mom who comes in, maybe you work in the office sometimes, but you probably already have a relationship, and we're going to want you to continue with that. If you don't, you'll have an opportunity to create one. Another part of your responsibility is to notify recruitment specialists about visibility events within your school. So we'll talk a little bit more about what those might be in a few minutes. We are going to want you to represent Girl Scouts at school functions when you're available. That's not actually a requirement of this job. It actually is something that we would want you to do if you're available and if you want to. We do have other volunteers who are in place to come in and actually represent Girl Scouts at the school functions, but if you're available, we would love to have you. You'll also coordinate with the school staff to ensure that flyers are sent home with the girls. And that's super important. We'll definitely talk more about that. The most important part of a school liaison's role is to create, nurture, and continue a relationship within her school. You are the link between the recruitment specialist and the school. Ding! All right, so let's talk about that relationship. A successful and growing Girl Scout community requires getting the message to girls and adults within the school. Building positive relationships with school administrators and parent organizations is crucial to membership growth. As the school liaison, introduce yourself to the office staff as the Girl Scout volunteer who they can contact about everything Girl Scouts. So they will very likely ask you things that aren't related to recruiting, and that's okay, because you can probably answer that. If you can't, you know who to call. You're going to want to provide your contact information and the best way to reach you. So leave your contact information for the parent-teacher organization, so the PTA, and some schools it's the PTSA, as you'll want to reach out to the president and start forming a bond with him or her as well. Again, maybe you're already the PTA president. Maybe you already know somebody who is, and you're already close to that person. But we'll want to make sure that they know that you represent Girl Scouts. So when you talk to the PTA president or meet with him or her, let him know that Girl Scouts meets in your school. Or, if they don't already meet in the school, talk to them about having girls meet in the school. And tell them that girls are available to provide service at upcoming programs and events. We want this to be a two-way relationship. We don't want to just take from the school. We want to give back. So our girls can help with that in several ways. So girls can provide this opening flag ceremony at a program. They can serve as greeters or hangout programs as well. Your goal is to be visible to the PTA in order to be included in events where a Girl Scout informational booth can be set up. The more they see us, the more likely they are going to be to invite us to their future events. So make sure that they know who you are. So these events might include open houses, back-to-school nights, and special programs. So special programs are things like spaghetti with Santa, donuts with Dad. What else can you think of, Kim?
Fall carnival.
Yeah, or spring carnival, or
a Christmas program.
Yep, any of those, our chorus program, the 5th grade chorus, or whatever it is. We want to make sure that Girl Scouts is welcome there, so we want to keep ourselves visible, and we want to offer service back in return. So ask your contact at the school to share the calendar with you and mark which events which Girl Scouts are allowed to be visible. So when you're invited to participate, contact your recruitment champion. The recruitment champion is another position in your service unit. She will make arrangements for someone to attend the event and promote Girl Scouts. If you're available, of course, we'd love to have you do that. If not, they'll definitely find somebody to cover the event, and if not, as staff, we will make sure that it gets covered. So once you've established that relationship with your school, find out if you can provide a message about joining Girl Scouts. So there's lots of ways to get that message out. Morning announcements, the school website, the school marquee, maybe on the bulletin board or posters in the hall, or school robocalls. So you're thinking, school robocalls, what in the world? So school robocalls, you're getting them all the time. You just don't know that we call it a robocall. That's when you get that call or text from your school to let you know that something fun is going on that evening at school, or maybe you're getting the call to let you know that there's a weather event and school's going to close early or open late. Those robo announcements can be used other ways to let, if your principal will allow you, to let parents know that there's something going on with Girl Scouts that night. So Kim can give you a really cool example of an instance where that really worked out well for us.
Yes, and a couple schools, because we have built that relationship with the school administration, the principal was on board and was able and willing to make a robocall for us to let the parents know as a reminder that there was a Girl Scout information night that night. Because she did that, we had a great success at that recruitment and had 30+ girls at both schools that came and became Girl Scouts that night. So creating that relationship with the school is very important so that we can get the backing of the school as well.
So the cool thing about robocalls is sometimes when one principal in an area does it, you can kind of convince the other ones to do it. So if that's allowed in your school and that's happening, please make sure that your recruiter knows that, because that would be important for them to be able to say to the next school, hey, guess what? The principal at such and such school did it. Maybe you'd be willing to help us out with the same thing. So, all right, ding. All right, let's talk about recruitment flyers. So, first thing you want to do is find out if your school permits recruitment flyers to go home with the students. Your recruitment specialist will know for sure whether they can or can't. We have a couple ways of getting flyers out to students, or out to the parents, and one is, of course, the paper flyer. We've done that for years, and as parents, you've received those over the years and know what that's about. There's another way called Peach Jar, which is kind of a strange name, but Peach Jar is an online service that school systems use to distribute information to the parents electronically. So a parent would get an email with electronic versions of the flyer attached to it to let them know what's going on at the school. So we have Peach Jar available at several of our school systems, and Kim's going to tell you which ones.
Currently, the school systems that are on Peach Jar are Suffolk, Chesapeake, Williamsburg, and new this year is Portsmouth. The only other school that does an electronic flyer is Yorktown. They do not use Peach Jar, but they use something similar through their own school system. So those are the schools that actually use Peach Jar. And if you live in one of those school districts and you're one of their school liaisons, it's very important for us to make sure that we have that relationship with the schools so that we can find other ways to be able to market as well.
So if you are in one of the school systems that uses Peach Jar, or if you're in New York and they use the other system, you will not need to do anything with flyers. The only thing we would maybe ask you to do is kind of let us know that you got the flyer electronically from your school system so that we know it's really working. If flyers can go home in weekly folders that the students take home, you're going to find out the day that folders go home and coordinate the delivery with your recruitment specialist. So if you're available to take the recruitment flyers to your school, and say they go home on Wednesday, you'd want to deliver those flyers on Friday or Monday morning. You might even offer to put the flyers in the teachers' mailboxes if you're available. If you deliver if you're the one delivering the flyers. So some schools may even allow you to distribute them. The closer you can get to getting it to the teachers, the more likely it is it's going to go home with the students, and that's very important to us. The other important thing is that time is of the essence when advertising an upcoming recruitment event. You're not going to want to send them out too far in advance because people forget. I know I do. But you want it to go home close to the event. So we want it to go the week of the event. So in order to have a successful recruitment, the flyers must go home on time. So well in advance of your event or your recruitment, you're going to request permission to post any Girl Scout posters at yard signs outside the school for a day or two before the recruitment. That's another good reminder for the parents to know that something's coming up. If you do that, we want to make sure that the posters and yard signs are removed immediately following the event, except in some cases we're lucky and the school principal will allow the signs to stay out year-round. In that case, we definitely want to take advantage of that. So,
Absolutely.
ding! Okay, so we mentioned the Girl Scout information table earlier, so let's talk a little bit about that. So the school secretary has contacted you and invited you to literacy night at your school. So the first thing you want to do is find out the details about the event. You want to know what time to arrive, if the Girl Scouts will have a table, and do they want us to have a hands-on activity. So some of our schools like for us to do something hands-on with the girls, and it's actually a good way to show what Girl Scouts do. So if that's required, just let us know. We'll work with your recruitment champion to make sure that you have something for the girls to do at the table. You'll also want to find out if someone will have the opportunity to speak to the group all at once, or whether parents are just going to be coming by the table to ask questions. If you have the opportunity to get up in front of the group, please take advantage of that. Just take a few minutes to hop up on stage, introduce yourself, mention that the table's in the back of the room and that we're available to answer questions, and talk about the advantages of Girl Scouting and what that may have done for you personally or for your daughter. So once you've got all that nailed down, you're going to contact your recruitment specialist and your recruitment champion and provide them with the date, time, and location of your event. You're going to also want to let them know if you can attend. If you can't, they'll work with your service unit to recruit other volunteers, typically older girls with a couple adults or maybe straight up adults. If it's older girls, we have a great opportunity for our older girls to earn their recruiter patch. So if you're not familiar with it, the requirements for that are on the website at gsccc.org. Just check it out under patch programs, and the girls can earn the patch. Well, the cool thing is, if they help us more than once, they can earn rocker panels to go with the patch, and the rocker panel has a little star on it. So that goes on, that patch and the rocker panels go on the back of their uniform, and the girl can bling it out as much as she wants, as many times as she wants to come help us, because we are super appreciative of them coming out to help us. Can you think of anything else about the recruiter patch?
Nope, I think that's pretty much it. I think we want to definitely recognize the girls that are helping us to recruit, because they're the best recruiters that we have. Yeah,
absolutely. They can tell the story way better than any of us can. So, and nothing is better than having a girl in uniform at your table. So that's important too. So if you can attend, arrive at the designated time. Most of the schools will have you arrive at least an hour early to set up your table and be ready for people to stop by. Make sure you're wearing a Girl Scout shirt or have your Girl Scout pins on. As you know, a girl or woman is in uniform as long as she's wearing her pins. The more Girl Scout bling you have on, the better. So, if possible, wear a name tag. Your recruitment specialist or your recruitment champion will provide you with materials for your table. The materials have been provided to your service unit in the form of a recruitment kit. So it has a tablecloth and some signage and some arrows and forms and maybe some giveaways. A little bit of everything is in that kit, and each service unit does have one. So check with your recruitment champion on that. So as people approach your table, be friendly and encourage them to browse through your materials. If it's too busy or too noisy to hold a conversation, ask the person to complete the sign-in sheet so the recruitment specialist can contact them after the event. Ideally, we would want people to pick up their smartphone, hop onto gsccc.org, click on Join Us, and start the process of actually registering their daughter. They can pay online, they can choose their troop online, all of that. Even if they just get that process started and don't complete it, that's okay. The recruitment specialist is going to follow up with them at a later time. But if that doesn't work out and it's just too crazy, have them sign in on the sign-in sheet, and the recruitment specialist will follow up that way. So when someone comes to your table, make sure that they have your undivided attention. So make sure you make eye contact and talk to everyone. So it's important that you share the information you receive from the school about your upcoming events, where Girl Scouts can attend with your recruitment champion and your recruitment specialist, because we want to be able to communicate that information out and make sure that you have good attendance. All right. Ding. All right, so we're going to give you a little bit of homework. Remember how I promised I would pop up Kim's email address? Well, there it is, kiml@gsccc.org. So what we're asking you to do is to email Kim with the dates of your school open house, your meet and greet nights, or your first PTA event, or really any event that's coming up at school where you think Girl Scouts might be welcome. We want to track those events, and we want to make sure that we're promoting those events through social media and through flyers. In order to do that, we want to keep a good list going, and Kim is the keeper of the list. Ding! All right, so pretty quick training. Now that it's complete, we hope that we've met the training objectives, describing the responsibilities of the school liaison. I think we did. Check. And helping you to understand how you as the school liaison work with the recruitment team. If you have any questions that we didn't answer, remember Kim's email address, kiml@gsccc.org, and she'll respond to you just as soon as possible. Ding! All right. Thank you for completing the training. As a school liaison, you are a key player in bringing the Girl Scout experience to life for girls and adults in your area. We value and celebrate your dedication, and thank you very much for joining us as we embark on a new membership year.
Thank you.